Welcome back to the channel. Today we are putting the two headphones head to head, and those are the AirPods Pro from Apple and the Beats Studio Buds Plus. This is more of a comparison video for iPhone users. If you are an Android user and you are choosing between either the AirPods or the Beats are the ones to get. These are 100% better than AirPods for your Android. They fully support Cloud Sync. They fully support Find My, their USB-C charging. These are the new king for Android, and I even think they are better than Google's own Pixel Buds Pro. Now we're going to break this down into 10 categories. I'll put them here on this screen. Hopefully we can give the best comparison with all these categories, because these are generally the categories that we look for when we use headphones. So let's get into it. So the first category is design. And right off the bat, the AirPods Pro, when they came out, they were the first to start this whole wireless, headphone craze that is going on now. And I just think that the design of the AirPods is great. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I can take them out of the case. They feel great in the hand. I've used AirPods for years now, and I've really, really enjoyed them. But wearing AirPods, the second you put them in your ear, I'm not crazy about them. I'm not a fan of the stems, sticking out of your ear. Whereas the Beats, I love this. I love the transparent case. They're bringing back the old Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64 transparent electronics. Huge, huge plus in my books. Using the Beats, taking them out of the case, I totally thought I was going to drop these because they just don't have the grip like the AirPods do with the stem, and I still don't 100% feel confident taking them out of the case. I still feel like I'm going to drop them because they're a little slippery, but they do have a place to kind of grip them. But once you get them into your ears, I 100% like the stemless design as well as the physical button. I know on the AirPods it gives you volume control as well as media control, but that's not a big player in my book because I do have an Apple Watch, so I can pretty much do any of that through this. So I would rather just have like the quick either, pause, Siri activation, noise control, like ANC activation or transparency mode switch. I'd rather have that in just like a button. And I do like these a little bit better than versus the pressure control on the AirPods. So for the design category, I am definitely giving that one to the Beats. So the next category we're going to be talking about is charging. So charging on these, completely different. AirPods, you've still got the lightning port on the bottom. The AirPods Pro support wireless charging, so you can throw these on literally any wireless charger that is Qi supported, and they will charge no problem. Even now, you can charge your AirPods on the watch charger. So if you have an Apple Watch charger with you, you don't have a Qi charger, you don't have a lightning cable, you can literally pop these on your watch charger and it will charge them up as well. Whereas on the Beats, we have USB-C charging, which is great, fantastic. Again, if you're on Android, this probably makes more sense because your phone's gonna be USB-C, whereas on iPhone, we have lightning, so you're gonna still be carrying both cables, whereas these do not support wireless charging. Why Beats didn't put wireless charging in these, I don't know. It wasn't on the previous generation of these either. I really thought that they would include it on this version. Just really unfortunate. I really wish they included wireless charging because I don't think you can go wrong with USB-C and wireless charging. For sure, that would have taken this category, but I gotta give the charging to the AirPods because wired, wireless, and charging on the watch just makes it that you can charge these almost anywhere. So charging category goes to the AirPods Pro. Now the next category is comfort. The Beats definitely are the more comfortable earphones. If I put an earpod on that side and a Beats on this side, the Beats do feel softer in the ear. They feel more secure in the ear, whereas the AirPod, as you first put it in, you can kind of hear the AirPod moving, and then eventually after a few seconds it finds its spot and stays in there. I do have to adjust the AirPods a little bit more if I'm walking or if I'm working out kind of thing, just because if you're horizontal doing push-ups or laying down, stuff like that, if you don't have it 100% locked in, the stem will cause it to move a little bit more. But with the Beats, I haven't had to touch them at all. They just lock in. Comfort category, I definitely gotta give to the Beats. Now the next category is transparency mode. Now both of these are rocking transparency mode, so that when you are using these and you want them to pretty much amplify sound through the headphone, both of these can do it. But starting with the Beats, when using transparency mode, I do hear a little bit of a hiss. I don't know, maybe it could be these exact pair. Transparency mode isn't as good. If I'm talking to somebody, I can't have both of these earbuds in my ears with transparency mode enabled and have a full conversation with somebody. I do find myself needing to take out at least one earbud because for some reason I just can't hear them when wearing both earbuds. And something else that I found was when wearing these outside, the transparency mode will turn off if there are loud noises. So if you are wearing these with transparency mode on and you can make a loud noise like a clapping sound beside them, you will notice that your transparency mode will turn off and active noise canceling will turn on. Like I said in my review video, I wasn't crazy about that because if you're wearing these outside, running, walking the dog kind of thing like that, you want to hear everything that's going on. And there's no option in the app to turn that off. So hopefully they will add this option so that you can enable or disable that feature, whether you want it or not. But AirPods transparency mode is fantastic. Never had a problem. I can have full conversations with people with them in. I prefer not to because clearly everybody can see the stems. That's what was my big ask was for these was, I wish they had the transparency mode as well as the AirPods because, you don't look like you got headphones sticking out of your ears because they don't have the stems. But I don't hear a hiss with these, and just general performance with transparency mode is better on the AirPods. So the transparency mode category goes to the AirPods Pro. And on the reverse side of transparency mode, we have active noise canceling. So again, both of these have the ANC mode enabled. You can either press and hold the button on the Beats or squeeze the stem on the AirPods to activate both of the modes on these headphones. But this was a little bit closer than the transparency mode. With the Beats, I do find they create a little bit better of a secure seal in my ear. But again, I just don't find the active noise canceling in these as good as the AirPods. So whatever Apple is doing in the software with the H1 chip, they're just able to find the noise and take it out. It's just a little bit better on these compared to the Beats. So with the noise canceling category, I am giving them to the AirPods Pro. Now the next category is compatibility. Now both of these headphones are rocking their own chips. With the AirPods Pro, you're looking at the H1 platform, and with the Beats headphones, you're looking at Beats proprietary version 2 chip. I'm sure they've taken pieces of the H1 chip that they can use, put it in here and so that it works across Android and iOS. The AirPods Pro, they work great on iPhone. They work on Android, but they really don't have features other than just standard Bluetooth headphones. And that's about it. No features work on Android because there isn't an app in order to control these. You can pretty much enable music audio, voice calls, and that is it. Whereas in the Beats, you have full control on iOS, full control on Android. You can download the Beats app and it gives you the exact same options as it does in iOS. You can change what the buttons do, whether you want Google Assistant or noise control. You can change it to volume. They even support Find My on Google Maps. It's not as detailed as the H1 chip, whereas you get the walking directions right up to them, but that's a step in the right direction for headphones outside of the iOS ecosystem. Two things that the Beats Studio Buds don't support that the AirPods do. One is automatic switching. So if you have these connected to either an iOS device through iCloud or a Google device through Google's cloud, if you start watching something on your iPad, bring out your phone and want to automatically switch from the iPad to your phone, it does not do that. The AirPods do. They will switch to whatever device is playing audio as long as it's on the same iCloud account. With the Beats, you need to manually switch it. Some say that's a plus, some say that's a bad, depending on you, but the Beats do not support that. As well, the Beats also do not support auto pause. So they don't have the sensor in the headphone that if you're playing music and you take a headphone out, it will not automatically pause the music or any media that you're playing, either on iOS or Android, because they just don't have the sensors. Whereas the AirPods on iOS will pause the music if you do remove one, or even if one falls out, because it does have the sensor on the stem. But compatibility section does go to the Beats because you can get the same features on iOS as well as Android. So that one goes to the Beats Studio Buds Plus. Now, mic quality. This is a pretty quick section. I've tested both of these. The AirPods Pro is the better out of the two. It's just able to isolate your voice a lot better if you have anything going on around you, whereas the Beats struggle with isolating your voice and just allow much more background noise into the voice call. So for this section, mic quality definitely goes to the AirPods Pro. The next one is battery. And for the AirPods Pro, with each bud allows you to get 6 hours of battery, and then there is 24 hours in the case, which brings you to a total usage time of around 30 hours. Now, I've been able to surpass that in a given week, but I have never been able to surpass the 36-hour mark of what the Beats Studio Buds Plus are giving you. Now, these are rated for 9 hours on the buds and another 27 hours in the case. It comes to a total of 36 hours. And these are the new wireless battery champs. I don't think anything on the market makes to 36 hours. If there is something out there, these are definitely the new Beats AirPods champ. 36 hours beats even the AirPods 3 battery, which I believe they're right around the 30-hour mark as well. So battery goes to the Beats Studio Buds Plus. So the next category is sound. And this really comes down to what your personal take is. And I will get to myself and which one I think. Now, the Beats, they used to be, very, very low, very bassy, very muddy sound. And if you listen to a bass heavy song, your vocals were muddy. They were hard to hear, they were distorted, it happened. But since Apple has purchased Beats, they have definitely cleaned up the sound. Now the bass is much more of a mid bass. It's much more of a punchy, fast bass. Does not affect the vocals as much as my old Beats X, I believe they were called. And these ones are greatly improved, and I really like the sound of these. Now on the AirPod sides, you're looking at more of your mid to highs. So these are more focused on your vocals. So if you're listening to, you know, the rock or hip hop or more music kind of stuff, I would say the Beats are better to go to. If you're listening more to a vocal heavy genre, or you're more into podcasts or audiobooks, then you're definitely gonna like the AirPods better. But for the sound category, I do have to give them to the Beats Studio Buds Plus. I just enjoyed the audio coming out of these just a little bit better, as I do like a little more bass than what the AirPods give you. And final category comes down to value. Now, this is the tough one. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're an Android user, your value is with the Beats. The Beats start at $169. AirPods Pro start at $249. Now, the AirPods Pro have been out for almost a year, I believe, if not a year. So generally that $249, I've seen them as low as $199. You can get them usually for about $229. So now we're only talking about $30 to $50 here. What you get with the AirPods, if you're an iOS user, the AirPods Pro have your W1 chip, which gives you the, if you misplace them, that $30 can save you losing your headphones. Also, you get wireless charging as well as spatial audio. So if you're on iOS, the value category really leans to one side, whereas on this side, you do get USB-C charging, you get both iOS support and Android support. So if you want headphones that have Android support and you want to use them on there as well as iOS, then these are your ones to go. But for the value category, if I were buying either of these pairs of headphones, you have to go with the AirPods Pro 2 because of the wireless charging, because of the W1 chip, which allows you to just go in full hunt down seek mode to find these, because they are small, they're easy for kids to grab and, you know, play hide and seek with. For expensive headphones, if you're dropping $200, you want to be able to find these very easily. So for the value category, I got to give it to the AirPods Pro. So I just did the calculations and we have a 5-5 tie, and I really didn't anticipate this. My pre-calculations were 6-4, but clearly when discussing both of these headphones, they've come down to a tie. Now, it is your money. Like I said, the Beats Studio Buds Plus range from $169.99. In a few months, I guarantee these will be down to at least $149.99. And at that price, you cannot go wrong with these. At $169, I definitely think that it's worth the $30 to go to the AirPods Pro. Unless you're an Android user, you can't go wrong with these. These Beats Buds are the best headphones for Android. On iOS, still, it is the AirPods Pro, everything that comes with them. Even though they don't sound as good, the active noise canceling is better, the transparency mode is better. Those are pretty much where you're going with these types of headphones. So fully, I think these are still the winners. Thank you, Beats, for giving them such a run for their money. Maybe next year you'll finally be able to surpass them. Throw in some wireless charging, maybe fully support the Find My, somehow make it happen, and you guys will be the champions. But we're also going to see what Apple brings in the next year with the AirPod Generation 3s, which whether they launch at the end of this year or early 2024. So there it is. There's my comparison video of the Beats Studio Buds Plus versus the AirPods Pro. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video next week.